Hi friends, this is Rajiv Gupta. I am a lawyer by profession since about 24 years and I'm practicing in Delhi courts. I am here to discuss section 69 of Bhartiya Nyaya Sanhita. As we all know that Indian Penal Code is replaced by BNS, that is called Bhartiya Nyaya Sanhita. In that there is a section 69 which says that whosoever by deceitful means or by making a promise, rather a false promise, of marriage to a woman and then enters into a sexual intercourse with her can be punished for a term up to 10 years. And this particular act does not amount to rape. So, there are a few things which come to my mind which I want to share with you. That if this act of making a false promise to marry, if this particular act is not rape, then what offense it is? So far, I've heard that, rather, I've gone through certain offenses against women, and one is outraging the modesty of a woman, one is a rape. So, what offense is this which says that if you make a false promise to a woman with no intention to keep the promise, and you make a false promise that I'm going to marry you, and then you back out, in that situation, you can be punished for punishment up to 10 years. So, in this context, I would like to say that uh, how easy it's going to be for a person to misuse this particular section. Suppose two consenting adults are staying together in a live-in, or there's an affair. Tomorrow, if the boy backs out due to any reason, due to incompatibility or any other reason which he feels that it's one life and doesn't want to spend with that girl, so the girl has an option simply to go to the police and say that this guy had promised to marry, and now he's backing out. So, as this is a non-bailable offense, so it's going to be very difficult time for the boy. He can simply be picked up and put in the jail, and then he may be punished. This is I'm highly surprised at how can a legislature enact such a law which can actually not be proved. If they're saying that a boy makes a promise to marry with no intention to keep the same, so how will that intention be proved? Who's going to prove that intention? The boy cannot be forced to prove that intention, as he cannot lead evidence against himself, and that's a law. It's a girl who has to prove it, and the girl, if the girl simply says that he wanted to marry me and he said that he's going to marry me, that's how I agreed to get into a sexual relationship. So, will the judge convict the boy solely on the testimony of the girl, as it's just a matter of intention? So these are a few things which are quite complicated. I am highly surprised, as I'm dealing with criminal cases since about 24 years. I've conducted trials. I've represented my clients in the trial. I've gone for regular bails, your anticipated bails, quashing in the High Court, SLPs, SLP criminals in Supreme Court. But I've never come across such a situation where you have to prove intention of an accused. As far as the first part is concerned, that luring the girl by deceitful means or by fraudulent means, I can fully well understand that's an offense. But this cannot be an offense that boy promises to marry and then he backs out. What if the intention of the boy was genuine and he wanted to marry? But then, after staying with her for a few months, he realized that they are not made for each other, and life is going to be hell if they stay together. And in that case, if the boy walks out and the girl wants to stay with him, and he doesn't agree to it, then she has an option to go to the police and put him in the jail. What sort of uh, law have we enacted? Government has to think over this law and either think of dropping the law or make the changes. This can just this can cannot be thought of that you have to convict a person merely on the intention when there is no other incriminating evidence. Mere intention cannot be the sole basis of conviction. Moreover, there are so many offenses which are happening everywhere. The only difference is the girls who are being raped, the girls who are being sold, and the children who are being abused. They are poor. They are from poor families, and uh, a girl who doesn't have a father, who doesn't have a brother, or who's all alone, somebody lures her, sells her into the in a metro city, and then courts are fully aware of it. This all is happening very near to the courts, but I have not heard that any of the courts have taken so much cognizance of the same. The offenses which are actually happening are not either not being reported or not being taken care of. But in this case, what will the police be doing? Police be going after such boys, taking them as criminals, whereas hardened criminals will be roaming free. Police would be having this job only as there'll be so many litigations in this regard. Every other person will go to the police and lodge an FIR as the law's there. So what will police be doing? They'll just be running after these boys. So what will happen? Who's going to catch the murderers? Who's going to catch the robbers? And who's going to take care of the law and order of the city? So what exactly are we doing? We are just putting unnecessary load on the public exchequer, and then we are putting unnecessary load on the police, where the police leaves the genuine cases and runs after these false cases. There will be lot many false and frivolous litigation in this case. The girls, I'm not saying that the girls are going to misuse it. But I'm saying that there's a grave possibility of misuse. As the legislature has left a gray area, they've simply they've simply said that okay, there's an intention. If the boy makes a false promise and he has no intention to fulfill the same, it's simply an offense which can put him behind the bars for 10 years, up to 10 years. So I think the legislature seriously has to think over this law, else it's going to be a chaos. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to have a chaotic effect on the society, and it's really a harmful law. So this is what the government has to take care of. They cannot draft a law where there are so many loopholes which can be misused, which can lead to false and frivolous litigations. And